Yo, what up, y'all boys? You know, I did something a little different today. This time, as you can see, it's morning. I don't got my LED lights on because, this time I woke up early, a little bit earlier today. But, yo, I just tried something, bro. I tried something and I feel very different. I decided to wake up early and for the first couple minutes of me waking up, I decided to not allow myself to look at my phone. I just wanted to see how that make me feel. And when I say this is peaceful, I mean this is peaceful, bro. Like, I don't have any of the anxieties I constantly think about. I don't have any stress. I feel like I'm calm. I feel like I'm actually at peace right now. I didn't look at no social media. I didn't even use my TV at the time of this video. Nothing. Literally, the only thing I know is what time it is. I don't know what's happening in the world right now. I don't know anything. I'm not on Instagram. Shit, I deleted that a couple of days ago. I'm taking a break of that. And something I'm starting to realize, yo, a lot of our insecurities, a lot of the things that we actually I'm not gonna say that because that existed before time itself. People always had problems like that. But for one thing I've noticed, right, is my mind isn't as loud as it usually is. It's a lot quieter, a lot calmer. I don't feel stressed. I don't feel nervous. I feel like I'm calm. I'm truly peaceful. And all I had to do was wake up early and not use my phone. And another thing I decided to actually take the effort in doing because this is something that I've struggled with, especially at school, and that's actually reading. I actually picked up a book. Let me find it. Let me pick. I've actually picked up a book and actually read that shit, bro. It's a book I got from the library, I think. Actually, yeah. It's called Maze Runners. It's a pretty good book, right? Not bad. I just want to get myself. It's a book that I've had for a little bit of time. I just wanted to actually pick it back up and start reading it again. Now, yeah, I bought that book, and so this made me realize I genuinely actually enjoy books. For most of my life, I've always dreaded reading. I've hated reading. Reading has been terrible. Never been fun. And I've actually decided to actually put the effort in actually picking up a book and reading that. That's always been something that's difficult for me, especially reading a book and comprehending what I've read. Because, one thing you can read the book, there's one thing to read the book, right? But there's another thing to actually understand what the hell you're reading, actually be able to retell what you've read. And I want to keep reading. I like it. I only thought I didn't like it because I'm so used to being overstimulated. I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you. For the first couple hours of waking up, I'm not telling you to delete Instagram or nothing like that, but at least for the first hour of waking up, don't check your phone. Don't check what's going on with your friends. Don't check what's going on Instagram. Don't check what's going on TikTok or YouTube. Don't check any of those things. When you wake up, I promise you, when you wake up, get up and get your stuff ready, and then probably I say, I'm not saying like read a lot, but at least read 10 pages. At least read a chapter of a book. If you don't like reading, if for some reason you can't read, then I say I say at least sit there for 10 minutes before checking your phone. At least sit there for 15 minutes without looking at anything. It's just see what happens. I literally sat there and let my mind like wander around for like the first 5 minutes of waking up. And then I picked up a book. And yo, when I tell you I feel peaceful, this is the most peace I've had in my entire life. And I was like, you know what, bro? I feel like doing some push-ups. So I did. I ain't do a whole lot. Usually I'm I want to build my habits back. And so I just decided to do 10 push-ups. Just 10. Not 20, not 30, not 40. 10. I ain't let nobody. I didn't, you see, if I was on social media, right? If I was on TikTok, I would have seen a guy doing 40, 50 push-ups, and I would have felt like I had to do that with many push-ups. But I know better now. Start small. I'm just getting back into doing push-ups. I'm not really a fit guy right now. I just want to get back into it. So I just started small. I think if you want to build progress on anything, you got to start small. I'm starting small right now. I'm not I'm not looking at the don't let your ego tell don't let your ego force you to make things too hard for yourself because you're going to quit. Because the truth is, you want to build habits. You don't want to build what's the point of making things extra hard at the start? What's the point of making things like super hard at the start of the day, right? Like do 50 push-ups and read like freaking five chapters of a book and have a full exercise routine. What's the point of doing having a full ass morning routine if you're not even used to waking up early? If you're a guy like me who usually wakes up at 10 o'clock in the morning, 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock, whenever I have free time, like I'm not going to school or work, if you're like that, start small. Please, I'm begging you, bro. I'm begging you. Do not make things too hard for yourself at the start. Go easy. It's gonna hurt you. If you got an ego, it might hurt your ego. Only doing 10 push-ups when you could probably do like 30. But I'm saying if you're starting early, don't do max reps of nothing. Don't push yourself that hard. Your brain likes to be comfortable, right? It doesn't matter how tough you think you are. You need to build habits before willpower. I think good habits come first before willpower. Once you got good habits, then you use willpower to push yourself even further. But I think if you're starting a new habit, don't go like it's like playing a video game if you're into games, right? It's like, playing a game. It's like playing a video game and you're like at the first stage or you're level 1 and then you want to go against freaking level 5, level 10 already. You want to conquer challenges. It's like you want to conquer challenges from higher levels that you ain't achieved yet. First, you got to start from the beginning, and then you got to slowly level up. Things got to slowly get easier for you over time. Nothing's supposed to be. You can't rush the process. I know you're trained to want instant results, instant gratification. Not what am I saying? Like instant. What's it called? Like, yeah, instant gratification. But I feel like, in my humble opinion, if you want to achieve anything in this world, you have to be able to you have to be able to accept delayed gratification. Things, people who have money, rich people who, not even just rich people, successful people who enjoy their lives are not super insane, super dopamine. Like most people's lives who are really successful, they're not living through like stimulation like we are, like being on their phone all day, on the game all day. I'm not saying being on the game or being on your phone is a bad thing, right? But I just don't you want to get to a point where you can do these things, like be on the game because you chose to be on the game, not be on the game because because you felt like you couldn't do anything else. You know what I mean, right? You know how people doom scroll because there's a void in their lives and then they don't know what else to do. Don't you want to feel like you chose to scroll because you wanted to scroll, not because you're addicted to it and because, like you don't know what else to do? I'd rather have my brain like wired in a way where I'm stable enough to know that I'm stable enough to control myself, right? Like let's say I want to scroll, then I can scroll for a little bit, but get off the scrolling. Don't stay scrolling for 5 hours. Scroll for like 3 minutes or 4 minutes and then get on with something else, or hop on the game for a couple hours, but then start business again. Not being so addicted to the game where you can't get off the game, where you can't. It's to the point where you can control yourself, you can control your mind. I want true control. That's what I'm striving for. I want to be able to wake up early and get my shit done. And I want to put myself in a way where I can get true success. True success. Because I think success starts from here first. Anything, all these things, being a millionaire, even a billionaire, all that shit comes from here first. Here first. You gotta develop the habits, or the habits that create the millionaire, or create the confident speaker, or the person who or so-called smart person, right? I've never been a believer that some people are just naturally smarter than others. I believe there's some people who have the mindset to be smart and some people just don't. I think intelligence, so-called intelligence is a mindset. It can be developed, right? If you can teach yourself to solve problems better by doing puzzles and reading books that make you think a lot. I think anything can be achieved. I'm not a believer of some people are just smarter than others and that's it. I don't believe that. I believe anyone can challenge their minds, can train their minds to be a better to develop better ways of thinking or better ways of functioning. I feel like anything can be achieved if you put into practice or develop the right mindset. But that's just me though. I'm just not one to have limits and beliefs because I've had so many of those. I literally grew up on limits and beliefs. So as someone like that, I believe anything's possible because I feel like I've done the impossible in my life. I've surprised myself. I've surprised hella people. And now I'm a believer that limits and beliefs are bullshit. It's all bullshit. I don't think anybody's better than other people. I believe you're only better than people who just are not willing. It's all about what you're willing to do that other people are not willing to do. Are you willing to go farther than other people? Are you willing to put in more work or more effort? Like, Kobe Bryant, right? Like Kobe Bryant, Rip Kobe, right? This this dude, right? He would this dude would train morning, night, and noon, bro. And he would be the last one to leave the court, leave practice. He had that mindset, like nobody's gonna outwork me. Nobody's outshining me. I'm gonna work on my craft so much that gonna I'm gonna work on my craft so much that my skill and my talent is undeniable. Nobody can tell me nothing because I work on that shit day and night. That Mamba mentality, man. And where did that take him? He was pretty talented already, But his determination, his drive, brought him to such a high level that it was undeniable. It put him in, it literally put this dude in a GOAT conversation just because of his mentality. If he if he just I believe if LeBron had his mentality, had the Mamba mentality, it wouldn't even be a debate between him and Michael Jordan. Because I believe he has that natural athleticism. You see, I'm getting to a point though. I know I'm not. This video is not about basketball and shit, but I'm just making a point, right? See, LeBron is a guy who's kind of gifted, right? He's pretty, he's not a. I'm not saying he doesn't work hard. I'm not saying he's lazy or but in my opinion, I might be wrong, right? I believe LeBron is kind of carried by his talent, at least in the past, at least when he was starting off, right? I believe LeBron was carried by his talents. But I know this sounds like I'm being a LeBron hater, right? I know what it sounds like. But look, you got to realize LeBron is 40 years old, still in the league, still dunking. This dude is insanely athletic. You will never see somebody like this. All dude had to do was drive. He was so athletic. He had to do he barely had to do anything to get past the defenders. He didn't have to develop crazy handles, crazy ball handling skills. He didn't have to really be crazy in that sense. He was just strong and fast as hell. But I will say now he's having to develop crazier. I ain't gonna lie, probably past 10 years, LeBron probably has had to work on his game a little bit more now. But look, someone with Kobe's mentality though, this dude will work on all assets of the game. He didn't have the little. He wasn't as gifted as someone like LeBron or Michael Jordan. He had to really get out in the mud and really work hard for it. So imagine like a LeBron with Kobe's mentality, basically in life. Like, there's a lot of people who don't fully maximize their potential. So yeah, I believe maybe some people are naturally smarter than others, right? Some people maybe are, but there are those who are not as naturally smart, but they maximize their potential. They push themselves to levels that you would never imagine. Some people accomplish a lot of crazy things because they don't have limiting beliefs. Because some people are so smart that they might hinder themselves because they will think their way out of being smart. They would have hindering beliefs like maybe this is not possible today. They're very logical, very intelligent, but their intelligence will keep them stuck. While some people, their intelligence, they allow themselves to fully believe that they can do what they want to do, and their mind becomes way more brilliant. They tap into it. See, some people, maybe I'm not gonna lie, some people are naturally more talented than other people. Some things do come easier, but some people are more diligent. They have that Mamba mentality. There is a lot of talented people, right? Kind of like LeBron, but they don't have the Mamba mentality. They don't truly have that. So, yeah, they're very good, right? Naturally. But imagine, it's the most dangerous combination. Being talented, but you also have that Mamba mentality. That's literally what Michael Jordan was. He was talented, but he had that mentality. He had the mind for it. That's what made him the GOAT. That's what made him the GOAT. But that's how I think in real life is, though. Some people, like, why do some people get the position in jobs? Look, why do some people get um, manager position? Why do some certain people who are less qualified for the position get a position at a job in a workspace. Why does that happen? Their mentality. They may not be as talented or capable in a certain sense, but their mentality, their confidence, their presence demands a certain level of respect. So though they may not be as great as the other guy, may not be as qualified, like why'd you pick them? Because look, maybe they might not be as talented at doing the specific role or doing the certain things the other person can do, but they're probably way more sociable. They got way more confidence, and they also give people a feeling that they know what they're talking about, know what they're doing. You know, this world is very unfair. You know, sometimes you could be literally smarter than somebody, way more of a nerd, know exactly what you're talking about. Why do people not listen to you though? Why do people choose that guy, even though you clearly know what you're talking about more than him? Because you know it's not about that all the time. People sometimes, pe- people respect presence. People respect presence and authority. Some people just naturally have that certain authority or certain presence. So without doing a whole lot, they already get a certain level of respect because they kind of demand it, right? So that's something I do want to develop because that's something I've struggled with a lot of the time. You know, I'm gonna talk about that though. I think maybe in my next video, like because there's a reason why in a group setting why someone who seems, let's say there's a topic, right? Let's say someone's talking about um, just any topic, like someone's making a debate about basketball, because I was talking about basketball, like Kobe versus LeBron or something like that. What if what if you're having a debate, right? And there's a dude who literally played basketball for school and he was literally in it. He knows about it. He watches basketball every day. He's a basketball fanatic, and he makes a claim about basketball because he really knows about it, but he doesn't really sell it right. He's his presence isn't really fully there. He's not fully confident. He's confident, right? But he's not as sociable as the other guy. And there's another guy who's way more charismatic. He's funny. He makes jokes and stuff. And then he says his opinion. I notice in social settings, 9 times out of 10, people always ride his opinion. Like nobody cares about who's right. People care about who has the most presence. Always. I learned that from experience. People always care about who has the most presence. There was times where I clearly, in a certain conversation in a group setting, I clearly knew what I was talking about, right? I clearly knew what I was talking about. But the other guy just simply was more funny than me. He just knew how to charm everybody better than me. So everybody just listened to him and they kind of ignored me simply because I wasn't as funny. I didn't have enough my presence to the group wasn't as powerful, or they didn't see me as, maybe I wasn't high in the hierarchy of the group and all that. I feel like making a video about that. I feel like talking about social hierarchies and all that because I really feel like that's a thing. Yeah, I kind of went off though, but that's that. Though. I woke up feeling a little different today, feeling good, feeling different. It's different, but I'll see y'all boys later though.